Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on The Flash Season 9. So, as we all would know and just remember because it wasn't too long ago, early this year was quite the time of, well, it was a bit of a bloodbath of stabs and just gut punches to the Arrowverse, which was still in quite a good standing, but after this, I don't even know, like gauntlet of not very good stuff. Well, it was like one man left standing. Now that of course involved all of the well, not all of, but just the swift cancellation of not just one but two Arrowverse shows. Like I think it was within like 2 to 3 hours of each other. I think like I can't remember which one was first, but you had one come out and then like 2 or 3 hours later it was another one. It was pretty much back to back. Now, these shows, of course, being Batwoman, which had just wrapped its third season, and then, of course, Legends of Tomorrow, which had just wrapped its seventh season. Now, Legends getting the cancellation was quite a shock, not necessarily due to, performance and everything like that, but also just because it set up stuff going forward, and you usually don't see that happen with a show that deep into its run. 7 seasons. Usually they get proper endings and or a proper final, planned season. So, maybe like 4 episodes to go. They might tell them, hey, okay, we're not going to move forward. You're going to end this season. You're getting, I guess, quote unquote cancelled. Then they can write a finale around that. A couple of shows did. Legends didn't go down that route. Now, apparently they'd been told, look, you're definitely not a certainty to get renewed. So just keep that in mind. And some other shows, like I think Legacies, I think it is, the Vampire Diaries spin-off show, they wrote a proper, series finale, I guess, and they weren't renewed. They were cancelled. But they still had a finale for that season, that final season, that felt like some sort of a wrap-up. Legends did the opposite. Now, it was revealed that one of the deciding factors was studio space in Vancouver, where some of these shows filmed, but specifically, I guess, Legends and Batwoman. Now, the lease on the studio had run out, and those in power didn't want to renew that lease due to rising costs compared to what they used to be. I'm not sure who took up that lease and who now has its studio. I'm going to assume Netflix, because apparently they're the one buying up all the studio space. But since that point, there has been an outcry, especially for Legends of Tomorrow, to have its story finished and wrapped up by what is now the last remaining Arrowverse show, or Last Man Standing, that of course being The Flash. So yeah, we're going to have to talk about that and how that could come about. But of course, throughout the video, be sure to let me know your various opinions about this. Would you want to see this? Would you not? How would you implement it if you do want to see it? Or even if you just have a general idea how they could go about it. Very curious to hear what you guys have to say, because there's a couple of different options they can go through, and we're going to go over them in this video. And also just let me know your opinions on my opinions, of course, because that's always interesting to read. And of course, if you're going to enjoy the video, want to show your support, anything like that, want to drop a like on the video to do all that. So at the end of the 7th season of Legends of Tomorrow, so the last season that they had, the only character that was really wrapped up was the character of Nate Haywood. And you might be like, well, hold on, why did they only wrap up one character? Well, that's because the character of Nate was actually leaving after season 7. They pretty much made it that his powers were taken away and he was moving on, everything like that. So he was actually written off properly, I guess you'd say, or given some form of a proper ending, but that was it. So every other character on the Legends team and on the Wave Rider, this now including Booster Gold, who they introduced in the Season 7 finale, were arrested by the Time Police for their crimes, against the timeline, I guess. And that was it. That was the cliffhanger. That was the ending to not just Legend of Tomorrow Season 7, but the show as a whole. So you can sort of understand why fans of the show weren't that happy, because we left all these characters after 7 seasons, especially characters like Sarah Lance, just in a prison to rot away for the rest of the time? Like, are we going to get some resolution to that? But firstly, the thing that has to be discussed, like, is this the Flash's job as a show to finish off the Legends storyline? And I guess maybe even the Batwoman storyline to an extent. And secondly, I guess specifically for Legends, how would you go about it? Now, I have 3 options here, but the general idea around all of them in regards to where they take place is that it's pretty much like the opening of an episode of The Flash within the final season. So, Legends was a bit more of a comedic show at its core, so you'd make it a bit of a comedic moment. So it's a bit of a comedic scene to open up an episode of The Flash, almost like a cold open or something, that still holds some closure for the show, while also not making The Flash span half an episode or an entire episode, or God forbid, multiple episodes, wrapping up another show's storyline. So you pretty much do an opening scene, and that's pretty much it. And to be honest, I think that might be the best way to go, but we're going to go over these different options in regards to exactly and specifically how they go about it. So the first option, I think this is the most unlikely thing, and that's that the whole cast that was there at the end of season 7 of Legends, so all those legends, including Booster Gold, are in a jail scene, or they're in jail, and Barry goes to get them out in like a couple of scenes, towards the beginning of an episode or something like that. It's like a mini mission for the Flash to do. Now, the big issue with this is, well, it's money. Like, money. 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 That's so expensive. Not only because you're bringing in all those cast members, you're going to have to pay them, not going to show up for free. I mean, maybe one or two might, but I highly doubt it. And then you got to build a futuristic time prison or time police jail cell thing. This is a situation I've seen people say that the Flash has to do, which blows my mind. I'm like, that's so out there. That's like, as a 5-year-old on Christmas wishing for a unicorn. Like, Santa, can I have a unicorn? Do you want a horse with an ice cream cone on its forehead? Even that's a bit outlandish. So this is a dream, an outlandish dream, that if this happened, I would eat my big toe live on a live stream if this happened. I have a feeling someone's watching this that doesn't like me that could actually make this happen. I regret saying that. But anyway, I would eat my big toe if this actually happened. The entire cast from the end of that. I'm gonna say it specifically so I can try and avoid eating my big toe at the best possible case. It's the entire cast that we saw taken from the Wave Rider in a highly futuristic time police jail cell. It looks really expensive. That won't happen at all. Yeah, not gonna happen. The next option, a handful of the cast. So maybe, I don't know, 3, 4, I'm not too sure off the top of my head. I think there was like maybe 8 people at the end of that season of Legends, so about half, so maybe 3 or 4. And you include the ones that, at least probably Sarah Lance specifically, maybe Booster Gold if you could get him, and then maybe like 2 of the other Legends there that are available. That's like an easier option than that first one, because that first one just seems so outlandish. So maybe that's like the middle option if maybe they have some money to spare or they have some time to spare, whatever it might be. Maybe that's a thing. But the most likely case, if you really want them to wrap up Legends in some way, shape or form, the best way possible is that it's only Sarah Lance and you don't actually get to see this time prison they're in. You might be like, well, hold on. Well, how would they wrap it up? Like, what's the story there? And I would just have it that it's the opening to an episode, and maybe it's Barry and Sarah just catching up. And this is after Barry rescues the Legend. So maybe it happened between episodes, and then Barry and Sarah catch up, and like maybe Sarah buys Barry a couple of drinks, to thank him for saving them from the future time police prison sort of thing. And they can just talk about it. It's like, oh, how funny was it when Booster Gold did this? Or just a quick opening funny scene. And maybe even have Sarah guest star in that entire episode of The Flash. Maybe it's something that she can get involved in. And you get not only to wrap up the Legends thing, but you also get a cool guest star in the form of Sarah Lance. So you get like the best of both worlds there. And it's also so you don't have to get just multiple cast members back. Like you save budget on also not having to do that whole futuristic prison or anything like that. You can just do it in a standard area, whether it's a bar, whether it's a Big Belly Burger or whatever it is, and it's just Sarah and Barry catching up and talking about things. I think that's the best way and the most fun way as well. I think in regards to like the possibility of it happening as well. Now, obviously, the big question with this, because the people going to be demanding this to happen are going to be Legends of Tomorrow fans. And will this satisfy them? And across the board, no. I mean, another season to properly wrap up the show as a whole would obviously be preferred by the fans. But this is obviously and clearly better than nothing. So I think if you were going to say, no, I don't want Sarah Lance to be in an episode of The Flash to wrap it up, I think you're just being unreasonable at that point. So I would be happy if they had Sarah Lance, because you get a cool guest star character and you can quickly have them talking about what happens and everything like that. I think that's the best way to go about it. But on the other side, if you're going to help out Legends, well, what about Batwoman? Because people will bring that up. If they help Legends wrap up their show, what about Batwoman? Because Batwoman ended with a cliffhanger with like some skeleton or something emerging from like a fiery thing or whatever it was. Well, the thing with Batwoman is that this version of Batwoman, Ryan Wilder, did not interact with our characters in the present day. However, there is the good chance and likelihood that they do interact in the future, seeing in that in the reverse Flashpoint timeline that we saw in Armageddon, where Eobard had sort of taken Barry's life. Ryan Wilder, or Batwoman, was best buddies with Iris and knew all the characters on Team Flash. So maybe there is like a flash forward at some point in the final season of The Flash, whether that's in the series finale or just some other point in the final season. And there is a reference as to what happened after that point with Batwoman and Gotham and the characters on the show, all of that. They might be able to even get like maybe like Javicia Leslie, who played Ryan Wilder, to appear, but I guess it depends on what she is doing as well as the time you would give to that. I mean, if it's literally one scene, there is no point really doing it, I guess. But the other option is if you could have Sarah Lance in the present day as a guest character. You could do the same with Batwoman, or maybe even like Luke Fox, to play Batwing or something like that. So maybe they could have a present day guest star at some point in the final season of The Flash that really updates what happened, following Batwoman season 3 and just the runnings of Gotham, all that stuff. Maybe that's something that could happen. As I've said in when talking about it, I prefer if none of this happened, because I think the final season, seeing it's only 13 episodes of The Flash, should just 100% focus on the Flash characters. But, if these are earlier episodes in the season, then I think I'd be somewhat fine with it. I just don't want to be getting into those final 3, 4, 5 episodes of this season and the entire show, and we're doing all this stuff. I would be a bit annoyed if that was the case. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like on it, show support. Let me know all your opinions and thoughts in the comment section down below on this. Very curious to hear what you guys think in regards to where you think, if the Legends should do this or they should wrap up Legends. Same with Batwoman. Let me know. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, and I will catch you guys later. Goodbye.